Here I am at the top of Carfax Tower in Oxford, formerly of St Martin's Church, which goes back to the time of King Canute and was demolished in 1896 to make way for more traffic. See that domed building behind me? That's Christ Church, as in it's a college of Oxford University, and that's where the cathedral is, the smallest cathedral in England. The cathedral functions as a college chapel. St Friedwald is buried there, the patron saint of Oxford, who was the daughter of a local king in ancient times, and was supposedly pursued by another magnate who wanted to wed her, but she wished to become a nun and devote herself to a life of chastity, contemplation and prayer. Anyway, so she fled from this lascivious man pursuing her, and she hid in the reeds near the river at Oxford, and she called upon the Almighty to spare her from the lustful appetites of her suitor, and her prayer was answered when this lustful man was struck blind, which was the typical medieval punishment for excessive desire. Okay. Anyway, you can see the hills around, the Chilterns kind of looking west. So not great with heights, by the way. I don't know quite how tall this is. So only the tower is left, but the actual church, as I say, was got rid of, and I can't really make out things behind. You'll see sort of the mound of Oxford Castle, built by Doyley just after 1066, a Norman nobleman, was given the area by William the Conqueror. And there's so many spires in Oxford, you'd swear people have got nothing to do but go to church around here. We were looking at Boars Hill a while ago, but I only realised that now. And this is the way you come up, so it's about £2 to come up. I've been here only once in my life, and that was about 18 years ago. What else was I going to say? Oh, there's a cross right up here, which I'll show you in a second. Then you see that spire there, the nearest spire, is a library. It's part of Lincoln. It's a sort of obviously deconsecrated church. You see obviously, I can't remember which tower that is behind me. I can't see Magdalen Tower, which for a long time was the tallest building in the city. And on and on. And then you see these verdant hills far beyond. So that's that. I'll show you the cross here. There we are. There's a weather vane as well. There's scarcely a breath of wind around. So that's what it's like. Okay. Anything else I could point out? I discovered the zoom, but I don't really feel competent to operate the zoom at the moment. Don't want to go too near the edge. Got a bit of vertigo. Don't want to topple over. For someone my height, this is not very tall. I noticed there's a Samaritan sign, so if you come up here, don't do it. Just call. There is help. All right. So this was the southern edge of the city, Carfax Tower, as in four forks, quattro forcia in Latin. And it was a sort of central meeting place. It was a cattle market. There was a bull ring. There was Swindlestock Tavern, where in 1290 there was a St Scholastica's Day riot broke out when there was an argument about beer, and an undergraduate and a townsman, they had a row, which led to a fight, which led to dozens of people being killed, and the dons and the undergraduates fled into the countryside. Now the king intervened, and he completely took the side of the universities and his army to restore order, and that was that. So the university was obviously an ecclesiastical organisation, as the Catholic Church controlled all schools and universities. But so the university had its own police force at about 2000, even had its own prison. We're looking towards the, maybe you can see the town hall. The flag is not really flying. Oxford is a city, it's got a cathedral, always been a city, but for some reason they call it the town hall, not the city hall. So the mayor of the city had to apologise to the university and pay compensation every year on the anniversary of the St Scholastica's Day riot, and that only stopped in the early 19th century, when I think the mayor refused, and then William IV, if I got it right, let him off. There's an open day, so you'll see some flags of colleges. It's a very low-rise city, which I think is quite pleasing, often made in honeystone, quarried not so far away. And the sound carries very well. Obviously buskers down below and people singing. So splendid. It comes but rarely, such a day as this. It makes me call to mind Evelyn Waugh's words on the opening page of Brideshead Revisited, which is the classic Oxford novel, saying how whatever the air was thick with meadowsweet and things like that. I can't remember the other words, but it was a really Elysian pastoral scene that he limned, talking about a rare day when Oxford was refulgent, and the honey-coloured stone which seemed to have absorbed centuries of youth, and so on. So it's not a very big city, only 150,000 people, but it's synonymous with education. After London, it's perhaps the second most famous city in the United Kingdom, even though it's only 50 miles away from London. Here we are on the River Thames, though when it flows through Oxford it's known as the Isis, and the Cherwell is a tributary of the Thames here in Oxford. So yeah, that away you'll see some green hills. Beyond that's Boars Hill, a pucker area where to live in what's it called, Thyrsis by Matthew Arnold. He talks about being up there at Boars Hill. Apparently at the peak of Boars Hill you can see the sea 50 miles to the west. I'm not sure if that's true. So many more things I could point out if I got into zooming and so on, but I'll have to go quite shortly.